Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.
The first thing I want to mention is that the Pohakaloa training area consists of 133,000 acres of so-called ceded lands. Now, those ceded lands are really Kingdom of Hawaii occupied stolen lands.
Yes, yes.
And one of the key things is they're talking about expanding the Saddle Road through the newly acquired 24,000 acres of the Army. That's predominantly downwind of the impact area. So the NRC should be putting some kind of restriction on the dust that's going to be created by the bulldozing of that military Saddle Road. That has a bearing. Let's put this request in perspective. The Army is seeking a license to allow the radiation from weapons training to remain in place, to possess it at Pohakaloa. Now that's a polite way of saying it wants a formal okay to do what it's already done. And what it has done is establish a radiation waste dump in an active bombing range in the heart of Hawaii Island. Now, to bomb a nuclear waste dump is plain nuts and should not be tolerated. If the NRC is in the interest of protecting public health, it should make sure that there's a ceasefire, that the bombing is stopped there for Pohakaloa. Here's some background. It's been confirmed that hundreds, perhaps as many as 2,000, depleted uranium Davy Crockett spotting rounds have been fired at PTA. That's just one weapon system back in the 1960s. Now, my research says that there are dozens of depleted uranium rounds in the arsenals of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines that could have been fired since the early and mid-1960s when the Davy Crockett rounds were fired. The Army claims it has a prohibition since the late 90s against DU to be used in training. What about the years from 1962 until the late 90s? Or is the military still lying about DU being used today? Open live fire at PTA as well risks spreading the DU radiation already present. And as Dr. Pang has testified, DU is particularly hazardous when small particles, burned DU oxide, are inhaled. I want to emphasize that the Hawaii County Council more than a year ago, July 2, 2008, called for a halt to all live fire and other activities at PTA that create dust until there's a complete assessment and cleanup of the DU already present. The Council also called for 7 additional actions, none of which have been met today, more than 1 year since that council action. So it's now up to the people, I think, to speak loud and clear, to sound the alarm, that what we are really calling for is concern for the health and safety of the people, for the Aina, and for future generations. We want this madness stopped now.